People think like, oh, it's just got to be like the clappiest all the time, and it doesn't. Sometimes you can soften it.
You're like, Anthony, you're such a bulk of a hoss of a human.
Yeah.
Why you gotta clap so hard too?
Yeah.
I know one speed, man.
That's what everybody thinks of me.
Yeah.
They're always like, oh, he probably just eats protein all day. He's lifting heavy weights. Probably just a big meathead. I'm like,
yeah, yes, but
those things are true, but there's more to me.
To you, like your ability to breathe.
Nobody ever asked me about that.
Nobody ever asked you because
whoever wants to know or talk about that.
Oh, we hear you slurp all the time.
I'm a great breather.
There's no breathing.
Oh, we actually got a comment about that.
Does Rach give you crap about your breathing? Because I know she gives you crap about everything else.
Yeah. Yes. Just all the sounds my body makes on its own. Like
but not even
sneezing,
like the normal offensive ones.
Breathing, swallowing. I think those are the primary culprits.
You kind of sniffle a little funny, I've noticed.
She's never mentioned it, so got that going for me.
We'll talk about it at our next meeting.
The breathing is real. I think I told you, but like one time I had headphones on and was watching one of our movies, and she was like reading or something and just like staring at me. And I was like, because I couldn't hear myself breathe, and she was like, "Are you okay?" It's like, it's just what my body does.
It breathes.
Well, hi friends. Welcome to the Bible is Funny podcast. That's Tim. I'm Anthony. We're so glad you're here today. We're so glad.
Yeah. For one, we talk about it all the time.
So true. So if you would, there is a Connect card under your chair. Pick that up, fill that out. We'd just love to hear from you.
Even if it's not your first time.
If it's not your first time. Tell us if you came with a friend, and we'll just shoot you. We're not going to, like, bother you or anything.
Just go ahead and stand up if it is your first time.
Stand up and let's give it up for him. Everybody who's here for the first time, give it up for him. Remain standing and say something vulnerable. Who was first? Why did our church never take off? I think we had some stuff going for us.
Yeah.
Well, hey, everybody. This is the Bible is Funny podcast. This is our segment we like to call Cheat Day. Devos, where we're going to read the Bible together. Before we do, a couple things. One, the Bible is Funny Volume 2 card game.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da!
It's the second volume of the same game.
Volume 2. You may remember the first game.
It's the first volume of the same game.
Looks like this. This is volume 2.
You'll notice the colors are different.
Colors are different. That's not all that's different. All the cards are different. This is 200 more cards for you Bible's Funny card game players.
So it's not even an expansion pack. This is like a double what you had.
We actually had some talk about that.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not an expansion. This is a volume 2 because it's the same amount.
So it could technically function independently from the first volume.
Right, and they can play together.
They're best together.
They're best, like two other people I know.
Jesus and... So,
who are you going to put with Jesus, though?
I know, that's what I was trying to... That's why I got stuck. Jesus and the Holy Spirit. They're just like...
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to make everything spiritual. That's how I am.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Bible is Funny Volume 2 card game available for pre-order right now. Links in the show notes. Check it out. If you pre-order it, you get some fun downloadable stuff. Well, there's two things going on with the pre-order. One, it helps us know how many to order, because last time we ended up selling out of the first run, which is amazing because the Bible's Funny family is just the best. So we're trying to get kind of a sense so we don't run into some of the same issues. So that would be really helpful if you're going to get it if you pre-order it. And also, you get some fun downloadable stuff, like some recommended house rules you can inflict on your friends at your house, and some action cards that you can put in the deck there and make you do fun things during the game. So it's cool. It's cool stuff. Please check it out. Links in the show notes. And now we're going to get started. Tim, how are you? I mean, are you good? You feel good coming into this?
Yeah, I had a week last week where my wife was out of town.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, sad. Obviously, I was devastated.
Obviously.
but there are some good things about it. Yeah, there's a ton of my sadness first. Let's talk about my sadness.
You start with sadness.
Very sad.
Yeah.
And that part's real because like I'm a talky person. I'm like,
oh yeah,
let's hang out.
Yeah.
Let's joke around. And when I got nobody that's like laughing at the stuff I'm doing, well, okay, then that feels like normal.
Yeah.
But when I have like nobody to even like mess with or like
right,
whatever after the kids go to bed, it's like,
yeah,
gosh, this life is terrible.
Yeah.
However, the biggest thing, and you and I have talked about this a little bit, but it's I get complete control over the dishwasher and how it's loaded and
that's
unloaded.
Big. Yeah.
Because I always do the unloading anyway. But if I am like the one person solely responsible for loading it, then I know it will be unloaded the way it needs to be unloaded. And the dishes will be dry when they come out. And it'll actually be clean. Deal. And the bowls won't be upside down.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
It feels good. If there was one good thing about my wife being gone for a week.
If there was one.
Then that is.
Which there isn't.
But that would be the one.
But the best of the worst things is the dishwasher situation.
Yeah, because then you notice it immediately when she comes back.
I think I've told, I don't remember if we've gone this far, but we both feel strongly about dishwasher packing. And people will come to my house for like a party or something, and as a help, they will be like, well, let's help kind of tidy stuff up. I'm always like, oh, thanks for doing that. Typically, we're going to get like paper plates and stuff. We have a bunch of people. But there's always dishes. And they will be like, I loaded your dishwasher for you.
No.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Two choices. One, you close your eyes and you start it. You just go like, we are where we are. I cannot look. So I have done that where I'm like, pull it down, just run. And we'll see where we are in the morning. Typically, I repack it. I completely I have to take it all out and put it all back in. And I'm sorry to anybody who's been to a party at my house. But that's
well, they don't know, but they're gone by that time.
They're gone, and they've done a nice thing.
Thank you.
The thing.
Yeah.
It's really helpful to help, but also you got to pack the dishwasher right, or else everything you said, it's not clean, it's wet, it's just chaos in there.
I feel like we could do a TED Talk. Maybe somebody already has. I'm here for it.
This mine starts with like, who is the dishwasher? The dishwasher's inside of all of us. Dishwasher isn't an appliance. It's a state of mind. Hi, I'm Anthony Russo. Ted Tampa has never called for me, and I don't know why. TEDx, is that what it always is? That the city one?
I don't know.
TEDx.
I don't know.
Tampa.
I stopped paying attention to them after they did like 55 of like they're all over the place.
I know. TED Talks in like master classes, right? It used to be like, can you believe literal master of the craft, right? Michelangelo's doing a master class on painting, and you're like, what? That's insane. And now it's like they got to keep making content, and there's only so many like actual sort of masters of things. So now you're down to like, oh, so and so they're getting a master class now. Okay,
she's a great knitter.
Yeah. I think that's some of my problems. Like, you're not even a great. Like you are a knitter with a following.
I'm sure there's a couple of those.
There's so many. It's a real close-knit community online.
I see how you wove that in there.
Hey, we're back. Bible's Funny Cheat Day Devos podcast starts right now. If you can start from here. We're going to read the Bible.
Skip that first 6 minutes.
Tim and I are going to read the Bible together. 2 chapters. We're going through the Bible in its entirety. We are currently in Exodus. If you missed any of the chapters preceding us, you can catch those. The whole book of Genesis is done about coming up to the midway point of Exodus. 17 and 18 is what we're on today. We're going to dive in. Thing that has to be said, Tim and I have no advanced degrees. That's how I'm going to say it. We don't have advanced degrees in Bible.
I have some certifications in other stuff.
Bible, understanding and learning. So it's just good to be upfront about that going in, right? Like if you're going to make like a big life decision, don't do it based on like something you heard in this podcast.
No.
Or at least get it confirmed with another podcast. You know what I mean? Sometimes the second opinion is just for confirmation.
Get it confirmed with another podcast.
Do not ask a person.
No.
At this point in 2025, the people don't know much. The podcast.
Because what you're going to do is you're going to Google it, and then it's going to be an AI result. And then And you can't trust those.
You can't trust those. But if somebody took the time to get a microphone set up and potentially a camera, I think that is worth listening to, for sure.
That's how you know they're an expert.
None of that's real. We're not smart. Exodus 17, verse 1. The whole Israelite community set out from the desert of Sin. Heyo, Vegas. Traveling from place to place as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. So they quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink."
So this sounds like a scene from me and my kids in the car.
100%.
And it's like, I'm like, hey, kids are like, hey, I'm hungry. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I did not bring snacks.
Yeah.
We have no snacks.
Right.
And then not 3 seconds later, your kid goes, can I have a snack?
Right.
I told you I already told you this.
Yeah.
It's not here.
Yeah.
So you have to wait the 4 minutes until we actually get home.
Right.
It's not, but can I have a snack? How? How do you?
I'm more triggered in the same thing with the water because I'm really thirsty. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going right home. Okay, but I'm really thirsty. Okay, look in your cup holder. Look in your brother's cup holder. Look in my cup holder. Because sometimes snacks are in a bag that you can't see. I think that's sometimes where the kids are coming from. But the water, I'm more like, it's not here. It is not here. Unless it rains and we open the sunroof, that is the only chance of having water before we get to the house. There's no water here. Yeah, I 100%. Kids in the car, 100%. Maybe this is how I'll respond. So they said to Moses, "Give us water to drink." Moses replied, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test?" And that's the move we're not doing.
Well, but it sounds like a move that I kind of am doing. Like, listen, enough about the snacks. God made me the way that I am. I forgot the snacks. If you have a problem with that, you can take it up with God. Common line.
Yeah,
in my
that's
house.
what you're saying. Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test? But the people were thirsty for water there, and they grumbled against Moses. They said, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to make us and our children and livestock die of thirst?"
They're always really concerned about their livestock.
I love how they do care.
I think it's more than just a functional thing. I think there's an emotional connection that we're not really talking about.
I mean, there's no way they're mentioned this many times in this story. Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." Verse 4. And I hate to keep going to kind of family dynamics, but this is also a sentiment that I feel. In this particular example, I am in the place of God. And Moses would be one of my kids who will be like usually tattling or something. They're like, I almost died. This thing happened outside and I almost died. And you're like, okay, you almost died. Walk me through that. Well, somebody pushed me. Okay? And there was leaves on the ground. Okay. So what happened was you almost fell. And you almost fell, but you didn't. For the notes, you didn't fall. And you're saying if you had fallen, that would have led to you dying. So we've really made some tremendous leaps.
Taking a couple big leaps here.
We're taking some big leaps. He comes and Moses says, "What am I to do?" They're almost ready to stone me.
Yeah, they're like preparing themselves emotionally to stone him. You got to get in the mindset first before you then physically prepare.
I mean, they're almost ready to stone me. Are they? Is it planned? Is it on the calendar? Are they gathering the rocks? Or are they just frustrated with you? Is that really what's happening? Is they're frustrated with you, and you've now come to me, or God in this story, and said, I'm going to get stoned down here. Anyway, that was a little pent up feelings I've had on a particular subject, and I do really think that's because we don't get the indication. They're thirsty. They're walking around a desert and they're thirsty and they want water. I do feel like in Exodus sometimes Moses is not always meeting them halfway. Now, is it dramatic to say, you brought us out of Egypt so us and our kids and our cows will die? Yeah, it's dramatic. Sometimes you gotta go like, it is hot. We're in the desert and there's no water. Yeah, I get it. The Lord answered Moses in verse 5, "Go out in front of the people, take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. I will stand there before you by the rock at Horeb. Strike the rock, and water will come out of it for the people to drink."
What if Moses was like, I don't know where that staff was. Shoot, I saved it because it was kind of a big deal. I knew that was a thing. Shoot.
It's a good episode of something.
I think it's with the other staffs.
Yeah.
Did you put your name on it? No, I didn't put my name on it. I thought everybody...
Right.
Somebody must have thrown it in with all the other staffs.
Right. Or he's got like a like sort of like an umbrella thing, and there's just like four nondescript sticks. It's like for Father's Day, everybody kept getting me a staff, and now I don't know. The one I did the Nile with, I don't.
And somebody made a replica one, and I thought that was so good.
Cool.
It looks just like the real one, but we didn't want to get the real one scratched up because that one's important. I don't know which one's which.
He shows up to the rock, and God's like, Did you bring the staff that you hit the Nile?
Yeah, this is the one. Oh, is it an elder staff?
I don't, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Same one. That's funny. I also think it's funny because he references the Nile. When this staff was involved with water previously, water turned into blood. So I don't know that it would be like, when he's hitting the rock, it's almost like, how does the staff... Again, I wonder how much Moses had thought about, like, what is the staff's role in any of this? Obviously, we all know it's God doing all this stuff. But it's like, right? It's a thing that does a thing. And when last time I hit water, it was real bloody.
Yeah.
Is there any prep of like, hey, if it comes out red, don't worry.
But God was pretty specific as to which one to use. It's not like,
right?
Like just grab a stick.
Right. He's the staff.
Why then was God so specific?
The staff that does the thing. I will stand there before. Oh, so Moses did this. This is verse 6 in the sight of the elders of Israel, and he called the place Massah and Meribah, because the Israelites quarreled and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?"
I felt like that naming of it, because Moses names it. The way I read it, it sounded like he was kind of being like a little like sarcastic with it all. Like they're quarreling and they're complaining, and that's why he named it that. And he like, it says, so Moses did this in the sight of the elders of Israel. And so I imagine the scene where like he gathers them all and it's like, come on.
Right.
Let's do this thing. And then he hits the rock and he goes, Mother. And that's the name of it because you guys are quarreling.
That's really good. Definitely fits. I think we've asked this before. I always wonder with like, you're just like, these are nomadic people. They're sort of wandering around and they name a place. And like, how much does that...
How does it stick?
How much does that hold? Like, how many names did the place have? Because what if another like family of people come by and they have a great time there, and they're like, we named the place Harmony and Joy because that was where our best friends got married and it was a beautiful day. And they're like, we named it blah, blah, blah. That's its real name. Blah, blah, blah.
Nobody put up a sign.
Who puts the sign up first? Yeah, I guess somebody's got to make the map.
Right. Yeah. Somebody's got to travel with a sign maker to say this is the town of Midian.
Worst job. Ding, ding, ding. Verse 8. The Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites at Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, "Choose some of our men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands." Got it marked. This is the one. So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning. But whenever he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning.
So I have like a little bit of a fan fiction here, and sorry to derail us, because we're obviously here to learn something important. But I have a little fan fiction. Mm-hmm. So, all right, so Hur in this fiction was like a giant dude that could like slay dragons, best fighter in the little army. He's a stud.
Hur?
And Moses goes, okay, you guys go fight. Like, send the best out there. Just should be walking the park. Like, just send some of them, but like, go. I'm going to go up to the mountain, but I don't want to go by myself. I just want some company. So, Aaron, come on. And then, I don't know, it doesn't matter, her. And then Aaron's like, her? And then Moses is like, yeah, her. That's fine. I don't care. Just send me.
Yeah.
Send the army now, or they're going to be late. Just her, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was saying H-E-R. I don't know. Give me her. And he points at this woman.
Oh, and then they sent him the big.
And they sent him her H-U-R.
That's a funny twist. I like that. Big, giant, massive her.
Like, you want her up on the mountain? And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah. And he points at some
Right. Because how could you tell? Like, there's just seas of people.
Right.
Yeah, her. She's fine.
Anyway, that's the fan fiction.
I love that.
And then by the time he realized his mistake, Moses is like, oh, of course we shouldn't have sent it, but the army's already gone. It's too late.
Yeah.
And they have to give her, the big hulking guy,
Right.
a menial job. And they're like, just, can you hold up my arms?
Right, which is, this story is such a great little snippet story. So verse 12, when Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur held his hands up, one on one side, one on the other, so that his hands remained steady till sunset. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. Just a great little snippet story. And for me, the thing that just juts out is, one, like, war at this time seems like just such a daunting thing. Like, I know we get, most of us, there's probably some historians out there, they probably don't listen to our podcast. But, like, some people are, like, aware of what it was actually like. We get it from movies, typically. The movie, like, 300 or Troy. And it's a lot of, like, got everybody. I killed them all with my sword. Got them all.
Yeah, you're really intimidating out in battle.
When I think about, but then my brain can't help but go, like, but it's going to be more like,
I'm gonna take a break.
This is so hard. They don't have guns. We have to literally kill each other with all these close combat weapons, and it's so hot. And I have to wear the armor.
It is the desert.
And it's the desert, and we have to kill each other, and that's exhausting. There's no, like, mass destruction weapons yet, so we got to really do this. Like,
Also, can I get a bottle of water?
there's no water. It's like you're exhausted down there. And the fact that, like, they're doing that, and Moses' job, old man as he is to put his hands up. They're playing my song. The butterflies fly away.
Have you ever tried to keep your hands up, though, for a long
I'm
time?
not saying it's easy. And I think he's old at this point. He's an old man. But there is still a juxtaposition of, like, man, I've hit my mic 4 times. Sorry, Rob. I'm down here with a sword and maybe an axe, fighting for my life in the desert heat. And my life is dependent on that old man up there, keeping his hands above his head. And he's exhausted. They have to get him a little rock chair.
He's exhausted.
He's pooped. I'm down here. I only win when his hands are up. There's also, like, funniness about, like, functionally how that go, right? Like, his hands are up, and all of a sudden they can't, like, hit anyone with their
Right.
sword. Oh, what? I can't miss him. And then he's like, oh, I'm tired.
It's like they're noticeably winning, right?
Right.
I like the line says that Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with a sword.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Moses overcame the Amalekite army with
Yeah.
friendship,
The power of
cooperation.
delegation. When you can't hold your arms up anymore, other people are. Which that would be, I mean, you could do that all day. If somebody else was holding my arms
Oh,
up,
for sure. I don't understand why they didn't just get more rocks.
you could have done it with rocks. You just need to lower him.
Yeah, he could be on the ground.
Gosh, that's another question. Did it have to be like as soon as it was over his eyes? Because then he just lays flat. You know what I mean? He could be just down and you're propped up.
Or do you think like maybe his arms were so high it was like looking like he was ready to dive in the pool? That had to be that because that's hard.
What if it's a touchdown sign? It had to be good, guys. You guys are doing good. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. Moses overcame shoulder burn with the power of friendship. And the Lord said to Moses, write this on a scroll as something to be remembered and make sure that Joshua hears it, because I will completely blot out the name of Amalek from under heaven. Moses built an altar and called it, the Lord is my banner. He said, because hands were lifted up against the throne of the Lord will be at war against the Amalekites from generation to generation. Had to get hands being lifted up in the inscription. Right? Had to. That was really the key. Some guy down there is jumping on grenades for his buddy, but I was up there. My hands were up.
Lifting my hands.
Don't forget.
Yeah, I mean, that also kind of sounds, again, not to be like the only cynical person in the room, but that tends to happen when it's just you and me in the room. This like, now we're sort of justifying why we're going to be at war with these people for a long time, because Moses is like, well, because they did this thing against the Lord, now we're going to fight them forever and ever in perpetuity. Mm-hmm. But like, there's other people groups. He didn't say that about the Egyptians, you know, like they did some bad stuff too,
right?
But he didn't say for all time. So it seems like he kind of picked out something. Maybe there's something else going on with these folks, and he's like, but this is my reason why I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna declare that we're gonna fight forever, and this will never get resolved. I'm just gonna say that now.
Yeah.
In whatever 1000 BCE this has happened.
Right.
But like, for forever though, we're gonna be fighting them. I can tell because they were anti-God. It's nothing to do with the fact that they made fun of me and my stutter.
Yeah, it's
that may have been a thing, but it didn't influence my decision
in fact,
to fight them for all eternity.
In 16, the very thing he names is them lifting their hands up, when really in the story the key point was him putting his hands.
Well, I think that's the first mention of like you know throw hands.
Ooh.
Bring hands. You want to raise hands.
Yeah, that could be.
That's fight terminology.
Yeah, hands were lifted up. Yeah. You know, tell me it's fighting terminology. I mean, I know all the fighting.
Telling the people.
I know every fighting terminology.
Fighter.
Got into a fight recently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Guy just comes up and like, you don't want this.
Uh-huh. And then what happened?
Oh, he was like, yeah,
I bet he
and I was like,
got the old what for?
I think so.
Uh-huh.
And I went, Notre Dame Fighting Irish style.
Uh-huh.
I went, and
then you
fist, because every time your fist pointing at you, there's 5 fingers pointing at them.
The fisticuffs, yeah. No, good. And you defeated your foe?
I mean, goes without saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we talked it out. Luckily, didn't come to blows on that one. Exodus chapter 18. Now Jethro, this is Bible Jethro. This is not Beverly Hillbillies Jethro. Mm-hmm. Jethro, the priest of Midian and father-in-law of Moses, heard of everything God had done for Moses and for his people Israel, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. After Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah, his father-in-law Jethro received her and her 2 sons. This is, by my recollection, the worst possible way to say that your wife and kids went to visit her family. Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah and his 2 sons.
Mm-hmm. Well, I noticed in the first verse, like how his father-in-law doesn't give Moses any credit for anything that happened, which is so typical. He heard everything God had done for Moses and for his people of Israel, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Just no credit. Did Moses do anything here?
This cool guy did that. Well, I did keep my hands up. Don't forget.
Yeah, God did it.
I did.
Yeah.
You try. Try to do it.
I can do it.
I mean, I'd help. Hers there. Oh, you kept your hands up? I just like this. I like this setup. It's like walking into work and being like, Jessica and the kids left last night. Oh my gosh, Mark, are you okay? Yeah, it was a planned trip, but they're going to see her sister. I think they're going to have a great time. Well, why do you introduce it like that? Moses sent them away. One son was named Gershom, and Moses said, I've become a foreigner in a foreign land. The other was named Eliezer, for he said, my father's God was my helper. He saved me from the sword of Pharaoh. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, together with Moses' sons and wife, came to him in the wilderness where he was camped near the mountain of God. Jethro had sent word to him, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons.
I appreciate the heads up there.
Yeah.
It's just a little RSVP sort of. Hey, we're coming.
Right.
Don't do anything. Don't be doing weird things. Your father-in-law and your wife and your kids are coming. Don't be like naked dancing in a forest. It's just
David.
Be cool.
Looking at you, foreshadowing.
And how did they find each other logistically without cell phones? Like, you're in the wilderness.
I have just questions for stuff like this, because I was even gonna make a joke about verse 6 with the way that this like note is presented, but then I was like, that's actually how you would do it, right? Because I'm not if I'm Jethro, I'm not there. I have to send a note. So do I send a note with someone who says, hey, Jethro is coming? Because that person didn't come on their own. It's not a warning. Like, it's not like, I had to warn you. It's like, no, I, Jethro, your father-in-law, there's probably more than one Jethro. I'm coming and I'm bringing you away. Like, this is exactly how you'd write it. This is how you'd communicate. This is
just a little heads up.
Just a heads up, and I had to tell you because rando guy shows up to Moses. Yeah, what can I do for you?
I'm just here dancing in the woods naked. What do you want?
Per usual. Because they put his hands up, they're playing his song. Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. They greeted each other and then went into the tent. Moses told his father-in-law about everything. It's funny, verse 7 reads like, Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. Then they greeted each other. Moses told his father-in-law about everything the Lord had done to Pharaoh and the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and about all the hardships they had met along the way, and how the Lord had saved them. Jethro was delighted to hear about all the good things the Lord had done for Israel in rescuing them from the hand of the Egyptians. He said, praise be to the Lord who rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and of Pharaoh, and who rescued the people from the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the other gods, for he did this to those who had treated Israel arrogantly. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and other sacrifices to God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses' father-in-law in the presence of God.
Meanwhile, like, Moses is just kind of on this retreat by himself, like in the woods, kind of having some alone time. And then everybody shows up for this party.
Yeah.
Like, uninvited. RSVP'd.
They RSVP'd. Yeah.
But nobody was invited.
Yeah, I mean, he was out camped by the mountain of God.
Yeah.
That's the information we
have. On
have.
A camping trip, and then all of a sudden, all these people show up.
I hope he had sleeping bags. But you kind of get the sense maybe he didn't. The next day, Moses took his seat to serve as judge for the people, and they stood around him from morning till evening. Pause there on verse 13, because I did mean to say this. I do think this translates to modern times, though, by the way. This kind of like playthrough of the father-in-law son-in-law interaction where you go through all the stuff you've been up to and especially the thing that like dog-eared it to me was when he said the hardships along the way. So typically in my relationship, it's like, what have you done around the house lately? And you show them. You don't just show them like, I did this thing. You go, yeah, so I was going to do this thing, and I had a plan, and I went to do. Of course, they're all out of this, so I had to like adjust the plan. Very, very flow of my experience of interactions with the father-in-law.
Man, and that's a scary prop for those of you who are not married yet. You're opening yourself up to kind of this world of criticism the second you show your father-in-law something.
Yeah. Your father-in-law is like the foreman who comes around, and you've been working, you've been doing your thing, but then he comes around and it's time you got to show him what you've been working on.
You have to show your work.
You have to,
but you have to prepare for the inevitable criticism.
You know you didn't do
something right. You didn't do it all right. There's no way.
And whatever you were working on, there's another thing you should have been working on that you didn't even.
Definitely a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
You spent too much time on that. Yeah. Just prepare yourselves.
You paid how much for that? Dang. So that's what Moses is experiencing here. Even Moses is in the same boat as all of us. Verse 13, the next day Moses took his seat to serve as judge for the people, and they stood around him from morning till evening. When his father-in-law saw all that Moses was doing for the people, here it comes, he said, what is this you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge with all these people, while all these people stand around you from morning till evening? That's a great visual image. Just like a room.
Just a line.
And Moses, and there's like the line of the people I'm getting, but then the way he's kind of saying it, all these people standing around you all day, is that there's also just other people there that don't have a good job that Moses is like not really.
Well, it's in the tent. It's the only shade they have.
Just hiding out.
And it's entertainment.
Yeah, that's true.
Why do you think we're all watching Judge Judy? Yeah.
You're getting the tea for sure. Moses answered him, because the people come to me to seek God's will. Whenever they have a dispute, it is brought to me, and I decide between the parties and inform them of God's decrees and instructions.
Yeah, I certainly would have outsourced that job myself.
Well, spoiler alert. Verse 17, Moses' father-in-law replied, what you are doing is not good. Again. Mm-hmm. Again. Mm-hmm. You're going to hear this if you have a father-in-law in your life. Maybe not as direct, but certainly as pointed.
Yeah, I was going to say, but probably that direct too. Because what does your father-in-law have to lose?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not
you
a
work
single
for
thing.
Him.
Mm-hmm.
You are an intern for your father-in-law for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, you will never climb the ranks at all.
My father-in-law is great. I have a great one.
Same.
But that is the deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're never going to the ranks.
No.
Until you maybe one day get a son-in-law, and then you get to become.
Yeah, but you still didn't elevate yourself.
But you get to push others down.
Yeah. And this is the cycle of life.
Cycle of life. Moses' father-in-law replied, what you are doing is not good. Verse 17. You and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. Listen now to me, and I will give you some advice, and may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. And this is what is, and I genuinely, like, I'm joking, there's also like, this is the father-in-law situation. It's not at all minced. What you're doing is not good is a direct line. But then also, like, the work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. Like, it is what needs to be said, and it is like like.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, and it's like you can't do this. You can't, and you get this like. But well, I mean, I think I can. I did. I can, and then no, you can't do this. You can't do this. Listen now to me, and I'll give you the advice. Verse 20. Teach them. Oh, no, back to 19. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. Teach him his decrees and instructions and show them the way they are to live and how they are to behave. But select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. Have them serve as judges for the people at all times, but have them bring every difficult case to you. The simple cases they can decide themselves. Moses functions as the Supreme Court.
Yeah, love it.
I would just say, like, maybe to be over 10 people seems like maybe too small. Maybe it's a lot of middle management. If you're over 10 people.
But I don't know. I wonder if it's like a tiered level too. Like you have local courts, you have state court. And
right.
Yeah. So like we're getting there.
Right.
So maybe you start off with thousands. Because they're all like little petty ones. They can be decided in bulk. You know, you if you've ever been to a courtroom, we're deciding cases all at one time.
Right.
20 cases at once, and they go, all right, done. And then that can be efficient. But then the hard ones, you got to spend a little bit more time with. Maybe only they can handle like 50s and then 10s, but those 10s are really big 10s.
I see what you're saying, and that's the reverse of how I would have thought of it. I would have thought the 10s are like
entry level.
Me and your family is almost 10 people. It's like it's gonna be like, I said it was my turn to sit in the front seat. Well, let's take it to the judge. That's what I feel like is happening with 10 people. The odds of like a big, colossal dispute between 10 people, it's just not that many people. Your odds aren't great, I would think. But I don't know much of anything. That will make your load lighter because they will share it with you. If you do this and God so commands, you will be able to stand the strain, and all these people will go home satisfied.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe I don't have to watch your kids when you send them off to me for vacation.
That's so true. That is an undertone.
Take care of your own stinking kids.
That is an undertone.
Mo.
For sure. I love seeing my grandkids, but you're sending them away too much. Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. He chose capable men from all Israel and made them leaders of the people, officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They served as judges for the people at all times. The difficult cases they brought to Moses, but the simple ones they decided themselves. Then Moses sent his father-in-law on his way, and Jethro returned to his own country. Shipped him out of town. Get the good advice. Send him on his way.
I mean, I have a feeling there was probably some other advice unsolicited that was given. Again, knowing the dynamic, that Moses was probably like, "Yeah, you don't need to."
Right.
He's like, "Oh, you're gonna eat that again?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna wear that? Oh, okay. I would have done it this way. Okay, thanks, Jethro."
Right. You have this like hallmark moment of like, "You're right, work-life balance. Thank you, father-in-law." Mm-hmm. And then he's like, "That's how you store your staffs?
Yeah.
I think you're trained. I think I heard you're trained."
But yes, I do have an issue with staffs. I don't know where they all are at any given moment, okay?
Right, but like, that's
my problem.
That is so, you bring the father-in-law in, and you're like, "This is what I'm trying to figure out." And he's like, "Well, I'll tell you, you did this wrong, here's what you got to do." And you're like, "All right, great." And it is at this very moment when they go, "What happened to that shed you were going to put," that you're like, "Oh,
okay.
Gotta take this. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't do another thing right now.
Right.
I can't." That's what happened. Tim, what did you learn today?
It's everything to do with the father-in-law relationship. This father-in-law, son-in-law relationship has never changed. There's it's widely theorized, hypothesized, whatever scientific term you have, that Moses is the one who wrote Exodus and wrote these certain books of the Bible.
Yeah.
And like, we don't know that for sure. Like, I wasn't there. And as much as anybody who's alive today claims that they know, they don't, because some people think it could be somebody else. But the way that the father-in-law, son-in-law relationship is written,
yeah,
it seems like this is what happened.
Yeah.
Like, the details that are in there seem real enough that I'm
this.
pretty convinced that Moses had to write this.
Right.
Like even down, there was a line, verse 9 in chapter 18, when he writes, "Jethro was delighted to hear about all the good things the Lord had done for Israel." Like, this story from Moses. Father-in-laws aren't delighted to hear anything from their son-in-laws. Like, they're not.
Right.
They're at medium at best.
Right.
And so that had to come from Moses' perspective. Yeah, he was thrilled to hear about all the stuff that I've been up to. You could see it in his face. He was delighted.
Yes. Yeah.
No, he wasn't. You're the only person who thinks at any point that he was delighted. And that's because he wasn't criticizing you for something in that moment.
Right.
He's about to, but...
Yeah, we'll get to that. No, the highest praise you're going to get typically is the "Oh, okay."
Uh-huh.
You're like, "Yes,
did it. He was delighted."
Talking about. That's great. My learning point.
My learning.
Me learn lots. My thought walking away is that everybody's tired. Sometimes you're down in the desert fighting the battle. Sometimes somebody's helping from aerial support, raising their hands. The jobs are certainly, like, you could probably objectively say there's like levels of difficulty, but everybody's tired. Everybody's worn out from the thing they're doing. So I think it's just like my takeaway is just like just be nice. Everybody's tired. There's nobody who's not tired. You're like, well, his job's just to keep his hands up. Yeah, try it. It's tiring. And like, that's the thing. You name the easiest thing you think, and I guarantee you the person that does that for a job, they're tired. They're tired of doing it. They're tired. It's wearing them out. So that's my takeaway. That's my takeaway from these two chapters.
Give them a break.
Give them a break. They're tired. Just walk down the street today, look at the person, catch their eyes, and go, yeah, they're tired.
That guy's tired.
That person's tired for sure. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for coming along the ride of Cheat Day Devos.
That's assuming you stayed awake the whole time, because we know.
We know.
You're tired.
You don't even have to say it, because we know. I appreciate everybody who... the comments have been coming in coming in hot lately, and I mean that in the best way. It's so fun to hear from the audience. So, any thoughts on the episode? Any thoughts on life you want to share? We're going to respond to the comments because it's so fun. So,
if you can give your best father-in-law advice to Anthony right now.
Ooh, that'd be good. Or like a story you have, like something.
Just
your
tell
father-in-law.
Anthony what he's doing wrong.
Yeah,
I do it all the time.
Somebody
It's
has
great.
to.
It's cathartic.
So he like never runs out of content, which is crazy. Anyway, love the comments. Thank you for those. You can follow along at The Bible is Funny on TikTok at The Bible is Funny. Again, The Bible is Funny card game, Volume 2, pre-sale right now. Check it out in the show notes. Get yours ordered today. And we'll be back with another podcast episode very soon. Love you. Miss you already.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
The Bible is for